So welcome everybody, and this morning we will discuss this broad and ambitious topic of the future of young audiences, young people in cinemas. And rather than discussing it in very general terms, we decided to invite a number of people who present very specific initiatives and experiences. And so I'll do the introduction, starting with Salim, who represents the Collectif BFF, and will explain to us what the BFF are doing, this group of young cinema lovers who just completed a Tour de France, a tour of movie theaters throughout France, and will and ended up their Tour de France last night on the red carpet. So very interesting experiences that you will share with us. Chloé Delaporte is a very well-known expert in the sociology of cinema audiences, researcher and a teacher at the University of Montpellier. Thank you for being with us as well, Chloé. Charlotte Corniot is with Cinéma pour tous, an association that she will describe. And it's always better to speak about movie theaters when we have a theater representative of theater owners with us. And so Frédéric Cornet from the Cinéma Galeries in Brussels is also here as a member, an active member of Europa Cinema, and also an active member of Cinéville, the unlimited program that was developed in different countries, including Belgium. So I'll suggest that maybe I will let each of you for the three associations, and then I'll let you conclude this first round, Chloé, just to tell us in a few words what you've been doing and how the action you're taking with your respective organization is having an impact on bringing on the relationship between movie theaters and young audiences. Do you want to start, Salim?
Yeah, of course.
Go ahead.
Hi, I'm Salim, and with BFF we want to connect young people in France to come back in theater, and for that we use social media, and the community starts with in social media. And after that, we take this community and we bring people in theater, and we do a cinema, a movie, and after that a glass of wine, of everything, and with that we connect the community with experience of cinema and humanity.
So what is, I think, very interesting with the experience of the BFF, it's that it's deeply rooted in the social media generation, and at the same time it's very untechnological.
Yeah, of course. We want to just use the social media like the right way, and it's very cool to
En français, si tu as besoin de...
faire en sorte en fait que le lien se fasse entre les réseaux sociaux et la vraie vie, quoi.
So the idea is really to make the connection between the IRL experience and the social media, but just making this connection, because really what you're doing is pretty simple. What you're doing is you're just telling your community, hey, why don't we go and see that movie that night in that cinema?
Yeah, and we connect 100, une centaine de personnes, every Tuesday in Paris, and it's very cool to link with the cinema, but la principale, ce qu'on veut faire principalement, c'est connecter les gens humainement grâce au cinéma.
So the whole focus is really on building a human connections through movie theaters, not a technological. And so you managed to bring around 100 people every single week at a movie theater in Paris. And how big is the community, your online community?
It's like 14,000 people.
14,000.
Ouais.
So yeah, 14,000 and by sending the message to your whole community in general, you will have around 100 people. And how do they recognize each other when they arrive in the movie theater?
We have a big pancarte with
They have a big sign.
a big sign.
That says what?
It says Vos BFF du ciné, and we take like that, and we say we are the BFF. Come with us, and the people before the cinema se regroupent, quoi.
Yeah, so people in the lobby of the movie theater will get together thanks to a big sign that says your BFF of cinema, and that's it. So it's really not technological.
The Wednesday we have a vote with three different movie, and the people vote in social media, and so it's democratic, and the community participe to the experience, and the Friday we announce the movie, and the Tuesday we see the movie together.
So what is interesting is that you are just looking at what's playing in your movie theater. You're not having any specific showtimes, etc. You're just choosing among the existing showtimes. Hey, what do we gather to see together? And you go for it. And you have your signs in the cinema. You all pay your tickets on your own.
Yeah.
Special discount? Des réductions particulières?
Not now.
Not yet. So whoever welcomes them, maybe you should do something.
Yeah.
But no special. So really want to highlight that this is so simple.
Yeah, and after so we see the movie, we have the party the Tuesday, and after that we create an after night.
And who pays for the drinks?
The people.
Okay, so everybody buys their own ticket, everybody buys their own drink, and everybody gets together. That sounds really like a movie theater experience.
Yeah, exactly, and it's free. You don't have to reserve with BFF. It's just for in cinema, and we organize everything, and it's free for the people. And
free.
Yeah.
C'est gratuit.
Nous, en tout cas, on ne fait rien payer pour nous.
Ah, okay. So it's not free for the people, but the BFF are a voluntary organization that doesn't charge anything to the participants or to the movie theater. And so really, it has become a thing in Paris. And we spoke with several movie theaters who really look closely at what's happening, and that was interesting. And so you decided you should bring it beyond Paris, because apparently there is a life outside Paris. And so what did you do?
Because we, Salim, me,
yeah.
Roman and Caroline, we are in the region.
They come from outside Paris.
Yes, and we want to do what we do in Paris, in France, and so we go like a musician artist, a tour de France of cinema, and we wanted to connect people like Paris in every metropole.
So how many cities did you do?
10.
In how much time?
In 3 weeks.
So in 3 weeks you did 10 cities. You just traveled with your sign that says your BFF du cinéma?
Yeah, yes, and a car.
A car.
And after that we finished the tour in Cannes, because it's a beautiful symbolic, I think.
Great. Well, that's very simple and at the same time very straightforward. So thanks a lot. Maybe Chloé, you want to, because you're an expert in the behaviors of audiences in cinema. You have a specific reaction to this very simple value proposition of the BFF and what it tells about the relationship, what young audiences expect from the movie going experience.
Yeah, I think it's quite interesting dispositif apparatus.
Setup. It's a very effective setup.
Kind of a French-English mix-up. But I have a lot of questions.
Go for it.
Yeah, I can. I just wonder if you have the same audience outside Paris and in Paris.
No, because the Tour de France is the first time we do that. So the BFF was born 1 year ago, and it's graduates. So for the first meeting we are 7, I think,
Okay.
and now we are like 100. And 50, something like that, and so we say, wow, it's cool, it's work good in Paris, so we have to connect people in France, in entire France. So we say let's go for it, but we start again. So
Okay.
we bring 20, like 40, 50 people. So it's cool.
At each screening?
Yeah, on the
okay.
tour. Yeah.
Okay.
So just Chloé, to get back to you for a second, you maybe saw recent research that was just published by the CNC that highlighted that unlike what we sometimes hear, research and interviews that were conducted throughout the world shows that the cinema experience resonates for younger generations much more than we sometimes read. It's sometimes more challenging to bring older audiences. What makes the movie-going experience resonate for young populations that are hyper-connected and seems to be so far in a way from the collective experience we live in movie theaters?
Yeah, I think it's not but it's not really new, because we knew that, and during the COVID pandemic, all the media attention and professional attention focus on young people, and 15-25 and all the round tables in Cannes also were on young people in cinema, the death of movie theaters, and it was quite interesting because in university we saw the numbers and we said no, they're the first to come back in theaters. The cinema habits and consumer habits doesn't change, and there is a bigger problem with adults and with my age group, about 40, who have seen the sharpest decline in movie theater, but not for the young people. So I think the interest in cinema is about theater as social spaces, and what you do is to connect people and to use this sociality and this socialness of movie theater, but it's also about not only connecting people, but I think it's a tool to. It is used as a conversation starter, and I see it because I have a teenager at home, and her first instinct after seeing a movie in theater or at home is to log in Letterboxd and to add the film we just have seen and to discuss it with her friends. So I think to discuss, to meet and to discuss is the art of youngest practices, online or in real life. So two aspects, both aspects are...
Interesting, and maybe Frédéric, it resonates also quite well with what has been experimented in Belgium with the Cinéville card, so this unlimited pass. There is a whole conference about that that you can watch online, and we have all kind of presentation. But if we really get to the heart of what you discover in terms of relationship with your audience, what makes your audience connect with you, and how does Cinéville and other projects help with that?
The funny thing is, like, when we talk about BFF, is that we have the same thing in Brussels, like, but it's not on social media. They have a WhatsApp group, and they actually contact the cinemas and ask, like, do you have any screenings that could be, like, especially in Brussels, with English subtitles? And then all this group, like, it's more than, I think, 300 people, have all the Cinéville card, and they come for free, well, they think, and so that's a part. So they connect together. So it's called Watch and Sip. The thing that happened for us in Belgium. So just to give you the frame about Cinéville, it was launched in 2009 in the Netherlands, in Amsterdam. It was a bunch of students in a cinema theater in a university that decided to do something for art house cinemas, to have an unlimited pass just for art house cinemas. And so it was created in 2009, and we have seen the numbers of art house cinemas increasing in the Netherlands, while at the same time in Belgium we had less and less attendance and less cinema. So we decided, thanks to Europa Cinema Collaborate to Innovate, I'm going to go back to that afterwards, that's in June 2022 to launch this pass. And since the moment that we have done that, admissions have grown as art house cinemas. Right now, I was, before pandemic, at 90,000 admissions, and last year I did 130,000 admissions. Almost a third is young audience, like, meaning also the Cinéville members. So the most subscribers have 24 years old for the Cinéville Pass. It's quite impressive to know that you have, like, a bunch of young people that really wanted to go back to the cinema. We just needed to have this tool to bring them back to the cinema. And so we have that, and so far it's been so interesting. It's a useful tool, meaning that it's not like I will say it in French because we can do Franglish. It's not the Saint Graal. Well, so you'd really have the dynamism of the cinema that change the thing, and it's really important to have, like, a really connection with the community and the young community. But we saw that the way they interact with us, the way we do screening with them, we do quiz with them, and it's mostly like young people that comes to watch that. And it's been, like, for my cinema, it's been a huge improvement in terms of attendance, but I can talk also about the other cinemas that have benefited from this unlimited pass. And the good thing is, like, this pass was launched in the Netherlands, then in Belgium, then in Austria with same technology, then Germany, and this summer,
Sweden and Denmark.
Yeah, Sweden and Denmark, and soon France, thanks to Ciné Group. The good thing is, like, this summer we'll have 2 months, July and August, where people can travel from the Netherlands to Belgium and use their pass to go everywhere. And that's also linked with the young audience, because what we want to do is just, like, use the Eurorail, you know, like the train pass that you can go everywhere, and, like, link them together just in order to say, like, enjoy the cities, enjoy the cinema, discover the cinema everywhere. Yeah.
Very interesting. And just back to what you were saying, Chloé, I find it that's almost become a joke in every Cinéville presentation, that they highlight the fact that on a regular basis, young Cinéville members who happen to be on social networks like Tinder will put Cinéville pass holders as one thing that really describes who they are. And being a Cinéville pass holder really tells something about what you watch, what you are, and it's sort of giving back the coolness of being a lover of indie movies, which I think is very interesting. So we're switching to a slightly different approach, but still about movie theaters for younger audience. With you, Charlotte, can you tell us a little bit about Cinéma pour tous, Cinema for All? So what is the association, the purpose? How does it work?
Cinéma pour tous, it's 20 years old now, a non-profit organization, and we we tend to make cinema and movie theater accessible to young people, aged 12 to 20, 22 sometimes, and excluded from it for social or economic reason. Most of our audience is young people from priority urban areas.
So suburbs with a low income situation.
Yeah, not exclusively, but most of them. For most of them, it's that. We work with a lot of organization supporting young people. So community center, high school, middle school. We work with juvenile justice program, adolescent mental health services, association from local sport club to France Terre d'Asile, for example.
Or refugees.
Yeah. So very large public. And we organize around 12 screenings a year, followed by discussions with filmmakers or film crews. It's outside school hours, so everything is voluntary. Young people choose to be here, so it's very important to us. And we have these discussions after the screening.
So how many people will attend typically one of your screenings?
It depends of the theater we go, but between 150 to 300. Yeah.
And how many participating theaters do you have currently?
It depends. We work a lot with one theater, UGC, because they got lots of salle rooms.
Yeah. Which one?
Bercy, Ciné Cité Bercy. And we do a lot of premiere or on release day. So we do that the Wednesday afternoon, so outside school hour. So lots of indie theater can't give us this time to screening.
How do you finance movie tickets?
Big subject. We have some public subvention.
Subsidies?
Yeah. Sorry for the Franglish.
Thanks for the English.
So CNC a lot, Paris, the city of Paris, but we also have private mécènes, j'ai un doute. Private sponsors. Yeah. Netflix is one of them. Netflix, La Maif for the
insurance
French
company.
Yeah, and also L'Oréal. But L'Oréal is more. It's more for the gift. We do an annual writing competition, and the main winners are offered what we call 20 hours of dreams in Cannes. So that it's thanks to L'Oréal. But the tickets, it's more the others partners.
I have a very simple and direct question. If you are in such a difficult economic situation, mental health issue, prison, why is it important to go to the movies? Why does it matter?
So important, because I think we think at Cinéma pour tous, we think that cinema is a powerful tool. It's a powerful tool to strengthen confidence, to spark curiosity, to connect people with themselves and others, and that's why encounters, collective experience, and giving people a voice, young people a voice, is really at the heart of what we do. And cinema, we have young people who told us, I feel seen. One told us, cinema gives me hope. It reminds me there is something after a difficult time. It's really something I heard. Sometimes they also say, I I didn't know I could enjoy French cinema. It's something that we heard, but they are all is voluntary, so they choose to be here. They choose to be here. They are curious, and we have very often first-time spectators in our screening. So it brings something, definitely.
Yeah, thank you. So maybe Chloé, we see here a bunch of very different types of initiatives targeted at different types of audiences. There is also one dimension which is very important, which is the role of school and the school system in bringing a younger audience to the movie theaters on a non-voluntary basis, because in some cases it's really part of what you need to learn. How do you view the complementarity of this mandatory part of your training experience at school with these proactive and initiatives like the one we see here?
Yeah, I think it's totally complementary because a lot of young viewers and not so young viewers are saying that their first experience in school was so important into their film enthusiasm. So I think that media literacy in school during school time is it's major both for viewers and for cinema theaters, because a lot of cinema theaters need the c'est un public captif. Je sais pas comment dire public captif, mais c'est aussi important. It's also important for the movie theaters economically.
You need the captive audience that is brought also by schools. In the case of France, is very important.
Yeah, for the morning screening, for some days off, it's quite important. And for the people, for young people especially, I think it's not the same thing, because it's the same thing when you have to read a book for a school, or when a teacher say to you, you have to read this book because you will have an exam, and you say, oh, okay, it's kind of boring, and you love the book. And it's the same for movies. You have to see a movie, you say, oh, boring, it's not in French, or it's in French, depends on your cinephilia. And it's kind of a bridge to another culture, and it may stimulate, not sure it exists in English, stimulate some kind of desire for cinema. So,
in your case, Frédéric, in Belgium, is it something that is also quite developed, school and movie going, and what is the role, and how do you see the impact on your audience?
Yeah, we have a program. Well, we are quite divided because we have the Flemish part of Belgium and then the French-speaking one, and we have a program called Écran large sur table noire, which is actually going and sensibilizing schools to go actually to movie theater. It represents around 10% of the total admission of the cinema, which is really important. So this is one thing. So they bring also like all the leaflet and all the things that like the teacher can actually like, how can I say that, experience the movie after the screening, let's say, like to go deeper into the movie. Cahier pédagogique, I don't know, like leaflet, pedagogical leaflet, I don't know. And so basically there is that, but also we got some support, like the same thing as you do. We do outdoor screenings also in the summer with the kindergarten summer camp. I don't know how to say that. It's free screening that we do in popular area, quite a suburb of Brussels, and so we do that with like it represents around like 400 kids per screenings. We do only short film, like a selection of short film, because the attention is quite difficult during the like auto screenings. And so we have like 3 screenings a day for children that are enjoying like part of their summer camp, going to watch movies. And that's also a thing that is important. There is, I think, the government want to highlight as much as possible the possibility to go to cinema, and we get some support doing that in French-speaking Belgium.
And what kind of movies do you show?
It depends. Selection of short film for the really like from 3 to 6, and then afterward longer film, animation, fiction, documentary as well. We have also like not for the kids, but for the grown up. We have some collaboration with universities, and they fill up the room with a film that they select, and they have a conversation afterwards. We really have a stronger bond with the young. Like state students in general, I would say, but we also have, and that's funny, some people that come from abroad and say, okay, we have this activity visiting Brussels for 2 days, we want to have a movie that night, can you pick the movie for us, like a French-speaking film? And so we have school from Amsterdam coming to watch film in Brussels, because it's part of discovering Brussels in a way. So it's quite funny, all the things that we managed to do. And if I may say something, like who is exhibitor here?
The Cinéma.
Okay. You are part of Europa Cinema, maybe? No? Okay, just to let you know that Europa Cinema, so I'm in the board of director of Europa Cinema, and there is a special part of the support that is given, 20% of the support that is given if you do educational program. It's really important. And I talked earlier, and sorry if I go too far, we have Collaborate to Innovate, which is the possibility of cinemas going together, movie theater, to collaborate together. That's how we launched the Cinéville card actually in Belgium. But you have also lots of examples of program of educational screening that are just like my first cinema experience, for instance, that have been launched in Austria. It's different theater decide together, we are gonna screen film for kids that never have been to the cinema. And so there is someone who welcomes them and talks about the film. It's only short films, of course, because they are quite young. So it's like, what did you see in the movie? What did you... And so that's also a really interesting support scheme, I would say, for that. Or in Serbia, for instance, they decide to... the kids can dub the film. They can do the voiceover on the film, and that's a thing that they've created. So there's plenty of example on how, like, movie theater want to improve the cinema experience and enhance in some way. Just it's not the same thing as watching the film at your place in your TV. You have more if you come to the cinema.
Yeah, and so through your various examples, there is also another element that is quite striking and also obvious in the case of Cinéville, is that when you manage to motivate and offer possibilities to young audiences to go to the movies, they will not necessarily just flock to the big blockbuster. So I'm curious, for example, in your case, Salim, usually what do your BFF vote for? What kind of movies do they want to see?
We want to see all different type of movie, because we don't like the creator. So me, Roman, and Caroline, we don't like the intellectual cinephilie. I don't know if this is that word in English.
Go for it, and that's fine.
But we want to have a cinephilie with all people, all different type of people. We don't have to judge someone. I think the BFF is the very popular way to connect and bring people. So we don't like to have the judgment. So
for instance, what did you see? What did you watch recently?
Recently, we watch À voix basse, you know. We watch Le Diable s'abri en Prada. We watch Élise sous emprise. We watch what we watch. We have a very different programmation. So
very, very diversified.
Yeah.
What I hear is that you don't want to be in a specific type of movies, and it's okay to want to watch together the Devil Wears Prada just after a very specific
very independent movie, like a documentary of something like that. But we the CNC says we are the A24 generation, so we like indie and author movie, and the blockbuster one. But we don't choose often. Enfin, on choisit pas souvent les blockbusters non plus. Because
they don't too often go for blockbusters.
Yeah, because we think it's a familial and friends experience, and not a group experience for this movie. And we think this movie don't have to be. Ils font déjà des entrées, quoi.
So maybe the blockbusters do not need the extra support of the BFF to go for to get more admissions, and you need to go for something that's a bit different.
We want to have a popular audience. We don't go to the theater normally, and we want to faire en sorte en fait que leur cinéphilie revienne petit à petit, peu importe les films que l'on va voir, c'est pas ça le plus important, mais c'est bien qu'ils aillent voir vraiment des films indépendants, etc.
So the most important thing is not specifically the list of movies they're gonna go and watch with the BFF, but also to just bring them back to the movie theater experience and get to like the experience in general, beside just the list of movies. Frédéric, in your case, because that's also one thing that is quite remarkable with Cinéville, when we look at the list of movies that your unlimited card holders watch, at first glance it's a bit surprising, because it's not at all the same list as the main movies in the country.
No, yeah, of course, because it's only available for art house cinema. But of course, art house cinema sometimes go for, I would say, lesser art house films. For instance, they would screen The Devil Wears Prada or something like that, of course. But like with the proposition and the diversity of the programmation, you see that like with the card, they tend to be more curious, because they're just like, yeah, I'm just going to go for this one. Also, all the communication made by Cinéville is also to highlight more independent film. And they, like for instance, last 2 weeks ago, we released the winner of Un Certain Regard last year, called The Mysterious Gaze of the Flamingo. It was the one they picked, and it was the same week as The Devil Wears Prada. So, I mean, the community tend to also go and watch The Devil Wears Prada, but will go to watch The Mysterious Gaze of the Flamingo. And so, when you see the top four, the top three of the entire country, you'd say mainly US film and mainly like blockbuster. When you look at the Cinéville, it's more diverse. Like you have like they take, I think it was 50%. I think like in the total country admission, you would say that the blockbuster will take like the larger part, while if for the Cinéville it's more broader. Like the film doesn't represent. There is not one film that will take the major part of the admission. It's gonna be more spread, and it's really good for the distributor as well, because they're there to take more films, and they are more adventurous in some ways, and also the audience. Yeah,
and in your case, Charlotte, because you're dealing with a younger audience that are quite remote from maybe the cultural experience of movie going. So can you share some examples of recent movies you showed, and how and why you would pick certain types of movies?
Yeah. We are very précautionneux. Je cherche des mots. Careful. Yeah, we are careful to bring some film like little bit feel-good movies and some deeper movies. On the year there is lots of different films. So we screen Arco, for example, Le Rêve Américain, American Dream, I think in English.
French comedy, feel-good comedy.
Fursi also, about slavery, so deeper subject. So it's very, there is a diversity in what we show. Our main, we are careful on don't show drugs. We don't show too much violence or free violence, I call that way, but if it's not on the purpose of the subject, we don't do that. Not sex, of course, because we have people aged 12 to 20, so very large audience, and also because the structure we work with trust us. They don't see the film, they don't see the movie, and they come with young people. So they trust us to not bring something too much difficult or with subject too much difficult to handle after. But with the discussion, we can go further. The first scene, for example, about slavery, it's not a light subject, but it sparks some curiosity about some subject, and we do also like booklet
with explanation about the
booklet. It's not educational booklet, but it's with additional content for people who want to go further. And I know that some classes or some groups talk about it afterward with that. So yeah, it depends on the programmation.
And how many viewers did you have last year?
We are around 5,000. 5,000 a year. So yeah.
In the Paris suburbs mainly, or
mostly, but we work also in Lyon and in Rouen. So yeah.
You have to start somewhere.
Yeah.
Chloé, what is your reaction to these different perspectives we get on the type of movies that younger audiences can discover, like choose in the case of an unlimited pass, which is sometimes, again, away from the usual cliche of a young audience just flocking to the big blockbusters and that's it. Does that surprise you? Does that confirm what you observe as a researcher and expert in this field?
Yes, we know that since a long time, because the main characteristic about young people is the diversity of the choice of their taste, and it's like the CSP plus for adults, the upper class adults.
The ABC one, yeah.
More upper class you are, more diversity are your tastes. And for the young people, it doesn't depend so much on social class or capitals. I'm not sure about that in English, but so for young people, it's most and much more important to diversify the offer and the film offer. And I was quite interesting about what you said, because you choose 3 movies and you bring this choice to your community. And I just would like to know if you're interested about a study about this. Is it okay that students or me with some colleagues are trying to analyze this choice and to produce some data? And okay, I think next year we will have some.
You will have some results to support the evidence here.
Yeah, because how do you pre-choose the 3 movies? And
it's about it's for the horaire. The
show times, yeah.
The show time, yeah. Because we want to have a 2 hours of movie and 2 hours of drinking and meeting. So we choose like that, and it's like 19h, 20h, 90 and
7 p.m., 8 p.m.
Yeah.
You choose in a specific period of time. What I find super interesting is that you have 3 options, pretty much the same time frame in the same place, and I would think that if you have different voters for different movies, at the end of the day, they all go for the movies they selected individually. But no, they will also go with the group, which is surprising. Ils vont tous finir par aller choisir, voir le film avec vous, et ils pourraient chacun dire, non, chacun va voir son film, mais en fait non, ils vont tous les 100 aller voir le même film.
Yes, but we are every week we are more and more and more. So we think about do in the future two options, yeah, and so we are more.
Wondering, where do you have the drink afterwards? Do you meet like in the lobby of the cinema, or do you go and because if you have 200 people coming at once, I mean, for the staff, it could be also like overwhelming in some ways.
We hope in the future the bar in a theater gonna be great. I know a lot of cinema have his own bar, but now we have a collaboration with bar around the cinema. We go at UGC Léal because we want to. It's central in Paris, so we can connect easily the audience. But we want to do more cinema independent. We work with Max Linder, Épée de Bois, etc.
And do you know the portion in the community who has a limited subscription pass, like a TGC ou la carte pâtée? Ou...
Yes, all the. I think 70% of the audience come and don't have a pass, and after if he come back one time, 2 times, and have friends and say, "Oh, I think I have a group of friends now. I want to come back every week. I'm gonna take a UGC pass because in Paris we don't have Cinéville pass yet." Not yet. And that is very cool, I think, for our community, because we want to work with cinema independent more, and the people come back again and take a pass. Yeah.
So, go ahead.
Just to question, what proportion of the audience goes only to the screening and not followed by a drink?
Very
because 100 it's a lot for a bar.
yeah but it's very look like a party the Tuesday, so we don't go at the party the weekend.
Okay.
But the movie, most of your, I continue the research with you, Chloé. The people who participate to your BFF night out, do they go a lot to other movies in the meantime, or is it like their weekly movie-going experience, or there are all movie buffs who will go 5 times in between? Est-ce qu'ils font que vos séances, ou est-ce qu'ils vont être à fond et aller faire plein d'autres films entre-temps?
Ça dépend. Because with the pass, he come back one time a week. So the pass is il est rentable, quoi. And yeah, a lot of go in weekend and Tuesday. I think a lot of people go 1 or 2 times a week. Yeah.
So it's interesting that it becomes part of their movie-going experience. The moments I go on my own, the moments I go with my
and they create
a
contre-group of BFF. So with our friends. So if we meet us in BFF and we're gonna be friends, someone create a group and say, come with us to a barbecue or holidays or something like that, and maybe we're gonna see a movie in theater this weekend, and we come back again in BFF.
So it's all about building communities in real life, which is really great. We still have just a few minutes, and since I see a lot of experts in the room and people passionate about movie-going experience and a question of young audiences. If there is any reaction question, si certains ont envie de réagir en français, en anglais, apporter un commentaire, ce qui vient de se dire, vous êtes bienvenus.
Donc pour Selim, ce concept n'est pas forcément pour des jeunes publics.
Eh ben non, pas du tout. Alors c'est vrai que c'est
It's not necessarily, continue en français,
Yeah.
pas de problème.
Oh.
But it's not necessarily just for young audiences. Je te traduirai après.
no, it's
Tu peux le faire en français.
Ouais.
Et
Ok, pardon. Oui, en fait, c'est pas que pour nous, on l'a vendu un peu au début pour les jeunes parce qu'on voulait vraiment un truc où on voulait hyper les jeunes, faire en sorte que vraiment ils aient un endroit où ils se disent ok, on va être tous ensemble et tout ça, et le cinéma est un truc aussi pour nous. On voulait vraiment que les gens qui ne vont pas au cinéma se disent c'est aussi un endroit pour nous, pour ceux en tout cas qui ont été déconnectés de ça pendant un moment. Mais par contre, on accepte tout le monde, et c'est ça qui est aussi trop bien, c'est que on a notre tranche d'âge, c'est 18-35, et beaucoup le 20-30. Ça, on a vraiment une forte concentration autour du 20-30. Et on a beaucoup de fois eu des personnes. Il y a un groupe de quarantenaires qui vient assez régulièrement. Et il y a eu un groupe qui est venu 3-4 fois de sexagénaires et de septagénaires.
So the question was really about the fact that this BFF experience, as such, it doesn't seem there is anything that forces it to be a young generation thing. It could be open to anyone. The starting point that Salim recalls is that initially the whole name of the game was to create a real hype among young generation who would feel invited, who would feel that it was really for them. And so the group was created to make sure that this young generation that in some cases were disconnected from the movie-going experience would feel like it's really for them. And so the group was initially for 18 to 35-year-old, with a main focus between 20 and 30-year-old. The reality is that now there are 40-plus-year-old who show up and they are welcome. And recently they even got a group of 60-year-old people, and they were welcome as such.
Now, if I can add something about what you said, is that there is really a thing about feeling legitimate in those spaces. For us particularly, really, we have a lot of organization reach out to us to organize this kind of screening, because there is demand from the young people, but they don't feel legitimate in those space. So there is really an issue about that, and doing some screening like special event-based, we can say that, with a premiere or discussions or something around the screening, they feel invited. They feel more concern, and for us it's really important that at the end they think that cinema belongs to them too, and yeah,
Thank you. Frédéric, you wanted to...
I think because you are quite a bunch of people, so do you get in touch with the cinema saying we are going to be 100, please reserve 100 seats for us? Or is it something that you take room with big capacity in order to, for instance, in Belgium, they contact me saying we're going to be 50, so can you book 50 Cinéville tickets for us? And I'm like, sure, yeah.
C'est à quel point
Oui, parce que vous êtes un grand groupe.
Oui.
Est-ce que la
Le
capacité...
cinéma s'organise pour t'accueillir, ou te réserve des places, ou bien...
Yes, dans la salle, you have il y a beaucoup de personnes aussi qui sont pas au courant de l'initiative quand on arrive, donc ça fait très avant-première. Et donc les gens disent toujours qu'est-ce qui se passe, pourquoi il y a plein de gens qui ont l'air de tous se connaître en plus. Et du coup, oui, on travaille avec les cinémas pour que... Alors, on dit quand même à nos personnes vraiment réserver en avance, parce que on ne veut pas toucher non plus à l'audience qui vient juste voir le film. on veut que vous, si vous êtes les premiers, vous remplissez la salle, c'est très très bien, mais le reste des sièges vides appartiennent aussi au reste du public.
So of course they coordinate, they discuss with the movie theaters, but the rule is really that the BFF members are strongly encouraged to book their tickets in advance, because the movie theater might have sold their tickets to other audiences, and the goal is not to create disruption of any kind. But what is really interesting and cool in this experience is that it gives sort of a premiere feeling to some of the screenings, because other regular moviegoers would arrive in an auditorium where there is this group of 100 people who are a bit hyped and excited, and so people wonder what's going on. And what's going on is just that there is this BFF group, and it also contributes to the marketing of the experience. There was another question in the back of the room here.
Yes, I would like to ask about the school screenings. I think it was Frédéric who mentioned that. How do you co-organize these screenings together with specific schools or teachers? And also, do you need something like an approval by the Minister of Education, let's say, about the kind of screenings that you do, or specific films?
Which country are you from?
Cyprus.
Okay, thank you.
Already, I think so. But it's a program that is funded by, financially supported by the French community. So basically, it's an independent team that actually select the films, and it's part of their catalog. But also, we can add the film that we want to see in the catalog. So basically, it's the way it works is like we have the schools that love to come at galleries. And so they book directly to them, saying like, we are going to be at Galeries with this film. We are going to be 150 plus teacher. And that's how it works basically. So, but this is one thing. And then another, they can contact us directly, and we don't have to go through this platform as well. So there is no censorship or anything. It's just in order to facilitate also to express the amount or the numbers of students that we have, we tend to go through this platform, because it gathers all information. It's really important for the data as well.
And if you want more information about school and movie going, you have a couple of experts here that we can share the experience about the French market, only in French, but you'll find translators in the room, I'm sure. Look, this brings us to the end of this conference. Thank you. It's very interesting to see how, with so many different perspectives, connecting young audiences and movie theaters is not only essential to movie theaters, but also essential to the proper growth and development of a young audience and young citizens. So thanks a lot for coming with us and sharing that with us. And thank you to the audience in the room, and to the people who watch us on the Box Office Pro YouTube channels. All the conferences that were broadcasted this week are all available on the Box Office Pro YouTube channel. And this was the last conference of the week, and so that's also the conclusion of this very first edition of the Cinemas Club. Thanks a lot for your contribution, and thanks everybody for showing up, and see you next year at the Cannes Cinemas Club.
Thank you.
And a big thank you to the students from the Écart School, who throughout the weeks have that's a cinema school in Paris, and they did all the filming and all the broadcasting, and they are here with us. Thanks a lot to you, to this wonderful team. Good illustration of connecting young movie lovers with the cinema experience. Thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful end of the week.